Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you'll be listening to this recording. My name is Malcolm Shambana, and today I'm taking you in research methods through our topic today, which is research interview. An interview being one of the tools used for collecting data, usually in your qualitative research. So we need to dive in this subject and understand how or the types of the interviews which we can conduct and how helpful interviews are in your data collection. So sit back, relax, enjoy this session. Thank you. So, like I said, my name is Malcolm Shambana. You can reach me on +260 977 488 442. That's a Zambian number. So you just include the code 260. Or you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. There are several videos. If you once you subscribe, you'll be getting notification. You can also view other videos. I've done several videos on research method with key topics. Those topics where you have questions on how to handle during your research or dissertation writing. So we move on. So our learning objectives today is to define what a research interview is, to know the types of interviews which you can conduct during our academic research, and also to know the importance of interviews. So, a research interview, according to Esramov and Zarapos 2006, an interview is a formal conversation for gathering information. In our case, we are looking at gathering academic information for your research, thesis, or dissertation. A research interview involves an interviewer who conducts the process of conversation and asks questions, and an interviewee who responds to those questions. Definitely, you're going to be yourself as a researcher, as the interviewer, and the interviewee who will be responding to your questions regarding whatever topic you are researching on. Interviews can be conducted face to face or over the phone or virtually. You know, with this modern technology, you can arrange a Google meeting, you can arrange um, a WhatsApp phone call, and so on. It has made it easier. In those old days, you had to at least maybe physically meet the person, the interviewee, so that you gather information for your research. But now things have become easier. There are platforms such as Google Meet. You can meet. There are several meeting tools or platforms you can use for an interview. So an interview is a qualitative research method used to collect primary data that relies on asking questions. That's according to Google 2023. It involves asking one or more people about their opinion on the subject. Of course, that's your particular, is it your research question or research questions? You may have several questions which you need to interact with the interviewee. Of course, the interviewee must be a person maybe who has experience or has knowledge about that topic. So, what are the types of interviews? There are several types of interviews, but we are going to look at the key types. There are three main types of interviews in research. We have the structured research, we have the unstructured, and then we have a semi-structured, or you can call it a mixed. So these are the types of interviews we have to assess what is suitable for the particular topic you are handling. So in a structured interview, the researcher prepares in advance closed-ended questions that are set in order. They are closed-ended. They are it's similar to your research questionnaire, but now you are supposed now to talk physically with the respondent. So the respondents are expected to answer yes or no, or a short response. Questions set in order can help the researcher analyze patterns among responses and compare responses between participants. So usually when you are conducting a structured interview, it's best conducted when the researcher can predict responses from the participants. You know that this is uh, most likely what the participants would say or respond or agree to. So if you know the you are able to predict the response of the participant, you are able even to write in advance that response so that the participants may agree or disagree to that response. That's a structured interview. You already have preconceived responses. So you are able to predict what the respondents are going to respond and state whether they agree or disagree. So there is prior knowledge when you are using structured in interview, and also use this type of interview when there are only few possible responses. It's not workable in a case where you have a variety of, say you have got 100 or maybe say above or 10 responses. It will be very difficult for you to conduct such an interview. Maybe the responses are from one question are likely to be more than 3, then there it becomes a challenge. So you cannot use a structured interview when you have a very number or a high number of responses, expected responses from the respondents. Research questions are easily understood by the participants. That's the only time you can use a structured interview. When your questions are straightforward to the respondents, that's the time you can use the structured interview. If it's not easy for the respondent to understand the question, then you have to look for other methods. And the structured interview won't be workable in such a case. So we have unstructured interview. Unstructured interview involves open-ended question, and it is the most flexible type of interview. There you expect maybe in cases where the questions, of course, questions and the order which they are asked are not preset. Questions are done impulsively. Progression is dependent on the participant's previous response. So you build up a question according to how the respondent answered the previous question. So from the previous question, you're supposed to come up with another question. From the previous question, from the previous response, from the response given by the respondent, you're supposed to come up with another question. That's how unstructured interviews are conducted. So if a person is asked, what do you think about the political situation in Zambia, or democracy in Zambia? The respondent will give you his opinion, his or her opinion. Then from that opinion, you're supposed to come up with another question regarding what response the respondent has given. So that's how you progress with an unstructured interview. So unstructured interviews are best used when the researcher has a clear understanding of the research topic and has conducted a similar interview before. So if you don't have a clear understanding of the topic, you fail to raise another question from the response given by the respondents. But if you have conducted a similar or have a clear understanding of the topic, then it's easier for you to raise another question. For example, You're talking of you asked the participants their opinion on democracy in Zambia. And then if you understand really democracy in Zambia, you're able to understand how the what response and how what other questions can you can build from the responses of the participants. It's also best when the researcher requires deeper understanding of the respondent. So from the respondent, the response given, you're trying to get also the details from that response given by asking subsequent questions regarding the response given. And it's best used when the research question is wide, it's not narrow, it's wide, and attracts a variety of responses from participants. Where you expect when you ask 10 people, they'll give maybe hundreds or maybe tens of different responses on the topic. There you need to use a structured unstructured rather interview where you don't have maybe if the responses are going to be more than three, you need to use or employ unstructured interview. We have semi-structured interview, though we can call it mixed. So in this case, a semi-structured interview is a combination of structured and unstructured types of interview. So you may have a situation where there are some questions within your interview have got straightforward responses, and the responses are very few, probably less than three. And some questions require deeper and detailed understanding or subsequent questions from responses given to area questions. So in short, it's a combination. When you have those types of questions which relate to structured and those types of questions which relates to unstructured, then you are using unstructured or semi-structured interview or mixed interview. That's how it works. So in some research, not all responses from participants are expected to be structured or unstructured. So what's the importance of a research interview? That's the question now. We need to understand the importance. What's its importance? So the one of the reason why we need to use a research interview is that it gives in-depth understanding of the topic. So interviews are variable tools for gathering rich and in-depth data that captures the complexity of participants' experience and perspectives. That's according to StudySmart 2023. Interviews contribute to in-depth research through the following: clarification and probing. When the respondent gives an answer, you have that opportunity to clarify and probe, ask further questions from further questions to the respondent for further clarification of the responses the area gave to a particular question. And the information you are going to gather is going to be rich and detailed because you have an opportunity to collect the details of responses from the respondents. There are tailor-made questions, of course, depending on the response given to area question. You can build up another question depending on the response given by the participants. So they are tailor-made. It's easier to gather. So the results from this type of interview is going to be rich and in-depth of the research. You're going to have good understanding of the research. So, and it also establishes a good relationship because you are interacting with your participants. The participants may be open as compared to where you have just sent a questionnaire. The participant here will be open, more open. Maybe there is something which they can't give in written until maybe when you are directly interacting with the participants. So other reason why a research interview is important is that there is validity of research. Validity in research is the ability to conduct an accurate study with the right tools, conditions, to yield acceptable and reliable data that can be reproduced. So, an interview is likely to give responses that even another person who can conduct that research is likely to get the same responses if conducted in the same on the same participants. That's the goodness with an interview. So, in traditional quantitative terms, validity refers to whether an instrument measures what it intends to measure or whether it gives correct, truthful answer. That's according to Keck and Miller, 1986. So, interviewing participants who have experienced, or let me put it, I think there is an error there, who have experience on a particular subject would lead to validity of the research, as they are likely to give accurate information in a face-to-face interview. It's as simple as that. That's the importance of an interview. So thank you for listening to this short session regarding one of the tools we use in gathering data. If you haven't seen other videos regarding data collection, you need to watch data collection. It's there on my platform, the YouTube platform. You also need to watch the research questionnaire. When you have these tools, you understand the research questionnaire and research interview, then you will know what tools to apply according to the type of research you are conducting. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and enjoy the rest of the videos and the rest of the production. Thank you.